The Office of Personnel Management is launching a new initiative today called the U.S. Tech Force. They're going to work alongside all government agencies and several top technology companies, including Alphabet, Apple, IBM, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, OpenAI, and so many more. Join us right now with the details. Office of Personnel Management Director Scott Kupor. Good morning to you, sir. Tell us about this new endeavor.
Yeah, great to be here. Thank you guys for taking the time today. So, look, what we're trying to do is a couple things. As you know, technology is obviously incredibly important to the future of the government, and we're trying to reshape the workforce to make sure we have the right talent on the right problem. So first thing we're trying to solve with this endeavor is to make sure we've got modern software talent, modern AI talent in the government. The second thing is, you may know this, but only about 7% of the U.S. government workforce is early career, so people who are, let's call it like 5 to 7 years of work experience. That compares to almost a quarter, actually, in the rest of the workforce. And so we're not doing a great job of as we have people retiring from government, we're not doing a great job of bringing in the next generation of leaders in government. So this program is really intended to solve both of those problems.
And how easy or hard do you think it is to get talent to actually show up in this world that we're living in?
Well, look, I think the message that we're going to bring to people is a fantastic message, which is, do you want to do good for the country? And also, do you want to advance your career? So one of the most important things we're doing, Andrew, is we partnered with about 25 of the top, private technology companies, and they've agreed to help us kind of provide career development experience for folks. We're going to do a job fair for people once they complete their 2-year term here. So what we're really trying to demonstrate is that the work that you can do in government is both challenging, complex, and that if you decide ultimately you want to go in the private sector, that's great. That work is valued by the private sector, and you'll have the opportunity to take that as the next stage of your career.
Scott, you've obviously spent time with the most sophisticated companies in the world. You've invested in them in your previous life. What is your take just on how good or terrible the technology is that we as taxpayers are dependent on today?
Yeah, I'm going to avoid saying good or terrible. I'm going to say it's dated. I guess maybe that's the best way to describe it. And so, look, part of what we're trying to do with this program is we've got to modernize our systems, right? So if you're a Department of State and you're trying to do great intelligence, you've got to have modern AI to do that. If you're a Department of War and you're trying to make sure, our fighters have the best technology, that all requires modernization. So that's what this really is about. It's reshaping the workforce to make sure that we have people who understand things like agile software development, people who understand AI and can apply those technologies. Because, the short answer is we're dated.
The reason I'm asking, though, is how much of it is the issue that we don't have the talent, and how much of it is that talent doesn't want to go into government because government doesn't have the hardware effectively?
Yeah, I don't think the hardware is the problem. I think the reality is, a lot of the work that, that we've been doing here at OPM is we're trying to change the nature of the workforce, right? We're trying to create a high-performance culture where people can come to work every day, do their best job. So I think these things work in tandem, which is we've got to tell the right narrative to early career people, which is these are some of the world's most complex and challenging problems. And if you're excited about that, come do this. And, oh, by the way, we have to have a work environment where we eliminate bureaucracy. We don't have a lot of red tape. We're able to promote people who actually do well. And so we're doing both of those things at the same time. And I think that's what actually will enable us to be successful in this program.
Okay, but here's the other one. When you have a world where there's an arms race, effectively, for talent, and you have the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, and I know you're partnering with a lot of these companies as well, but some of these engineers, as you know, are getting paid an extraordinary sum of money. I mean, it's remarkable. The top talent in AI right now, you can't attract these people fast, and you can't pay them enough. And so how do you actually get those people to go into government when the paycheck is going to be so much higher elsewhere?
Yeah, so we're doing a couple things, Andrew. So one of the reasons why it's important to focus on early career is the pay gap, at least, is a little bit less between private and public sector than it is as you kind of go through your career. So we're never going to solve that problem, right? It's always going to be kind of less remunerative to be in the federal government than it will be in the private sector. That's fine. We understand that. The real question and the opportunity I think that this program has is, can we demonstrate to early career folks that the types of problems they're going to solve are the world's most complex, they're the biggest problems. And, oh, by the way, you know what? Give us 2 years of service, and then you're going to have Zuckerberg and all these other guys clamoring for you because the experience you'll get, the knowledge you'll learn, that's going to translate well into the private sector. So I'm not asking people to commit to a 40-year, career, civil servant career. I'm asking people to say, hey, look, do something good for your country for a couple of years, and in exchange, we're going to make sure you're well set up in terms of your broader career after that.